It has taken a long while to establish football, as the locals call it, soccer, as a bona fide sport in North America, but Major League Soccer has finally achieved that feat. Although not as big as major European leagues like the English Premier League and Spanish La Liga, MLS, as its name suggests, is the United States' premier soccer league, with it being the highest tier in the American Soccer League system. The first season in 1996 took place with just 10 teams, and subsequent financial struggles threatened to kill the league before it got off the ground. The introduction of the designated player rule in 2007 changed the landscape in the MLS, allowing clubs to add world-class stars to their squads, which in turn saw an influx of top players across the world, including Europeans lighting up the scene. Players like David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Wayne Rooney helped to raise the profile and popularity of the league, creating a platform for the competition to flourish in the future. Although the MLS has only been around for just over 2 decades, it has quickly built up a reputation for being hugely entertaining. Goals are the name of the game in any football league, and the MLS has been blessed with a plethora of forwards who know exactly where the back of the net is. Welcome to Football Attitude's 11 greatest goal scorers in Major League Soccer history. 11. Edson Buddle, 100 goals in 304 games. Named after Pele, the retired 41-year-old, who is currently the manager of USL League Two side Westchester Flames, is one of only 11 players to have scored 100 or more goals in Major League Soccer history. Buddle began his career in 2000 with the Long Island Rough Riders, who played in the A-League at that time. The forward then spent 2001 to 2010 in the MLS, turning out for the Columbus Crew, New York Red Bulls, Toronto FC, and LA Galaxy, managing to win the Supporters' Shield with the Western Conference club. After a one-year stint with FC Ingolstadt in Germany's Bundesliga 2, he returned to LA Galaxy in 2012, where he finally got to lift the MLS Cup. 10. Taylor Twellman, 101 goals in 174 games. An all-star athlete in high school, Twellman played basketball, American football, soccer, and baseball while growing up in St. Louis in the state of Missouri. In 1998, he was offered a contract and opportunity to play for professional baseball team, the Kansas City Royals, but rejected it, preferring to instead play the beautiful game for the University of Maryland on an athletic scholarship. Twellman was then signed by German Bundesliga club 1860 Munich in 2000, kick-starting his professional career and spending 2 seasons playing for their reserve team before being signed by MLS club New England Revolution. The only one-club MLS man on this list, Twellman played for the Revs from 2002 to 2012, winning the US Open Cup and the North American Superliga in 2007 and 2008 respectively. The American forward's form in front of goal saw him clinch the MLS Golden Boot and MVP awards both in 2005. Twellman was unfortunately forced to end his career earlier than expected due to lingering symptoms from a concussion suffered in the 2008 season, but not before he set the league on fire and became the youngest player in MLS history to reach 100 goals. Currently working as a lead pundit and analyst for ESPN's MLS coverage, it's hard to imagine he wouldn't be higher on this list if he would have been able to play out a full career given his decent goals-to-game ratio. 9. Dwayne De Rosario, 104 goals in 342 games. Canadian De Rosario played as an attacking midfielder, beginning his career with the Toronto Lynx, a club that competed in the USL Premier Development League but was later dissolved in 2017. De Rosario then had a brief stint in Germany with FSV Zwickau before joining the Richmond Strikers, where he stayed for almost 3 years until MLS outfit the San Jose Earthquakes acquired his talents in 2001. Banging in 104 goals in 343 matches over the course of a 13-year career, while also playing for the likes of Houston Dynamos, Toronto FC, and DC United, the former attacking midfielder is a 4-time MLS Cup winner, as well as receiving the MLS MVP award and Golden Boot in 2011. Scoring 22 goals in 88 matches for the national team, he was Canada's all-time leading goal scorer until striker Kyle Larin surpassed him in January this year. 8. Jason Kreis, 108 goals in 305 games. The American started his professional career in 1995 with soccer club Raleigh Flyers, who competed in the United Soccer League. In 1996, after the formation of the MLS, Kreis joined Dallas Burn, which would later be known as FC Dallas, in the inaugural season and would be the first player ever to score for the club. In 1999, Kreis was the first American-born player to be named League MVP after he led the league in goals and also registered the first 15-goal, 15-assist season in MLS history. The forward stayed at the Dallas club for 8 years between 1996 and 2004, where he scored most of his MLS goals, 91 out of his tally of 108. Kreis later joined Real Salt Lake in 2005, where he became the first MLS player in history to score 100 league goals. After retiring in 2007, he got into coaching, with his first job being at Real Salt Lake, going on to manage at New York City FC and Orlando City. At 49 years old, Jason Kreis is currently the assistant coach to former Manchester United player Phil Neville at Inter Miami, a soccer club that is owned by David Beckham. 7. Ante Razov, 114 goals in 262 games. Born in the American state of California to Croatian immigrants, Razov was signed by LA Galaxy in 1996. After spending 2 seasons without sufficient game time, the forward opted for a move to Chicago Fire, where he enjoyed 7 seasons, with a single season spent in Spain at lower league side Racing de Ferrol, sandwiched in between. Razov is the all-time leading goal scorer for the Chicago side with 76 goals, winning the MLS Cup in 1998 and the US Open Cup 3 times in 1998, 2000, and 2003. The most number of goals the forward scored in a single season in the MLS was in 2000, where he managed to bag 18 goals in 24 appearances. Razov became just the 3rd player to reach the 100 goal mark in MLS in 2007, when he hit triple digits at the age of 33. The American later played for Metro Stars before they were known as the New York Red Bulls, Columbus Crew, and Chivas USA, the latter club which was dissolved in 2014. After retiring in 2009, Razov got into coaching, serving as assistant coach at both Seattle Sounders and LA Galaxy, and is now currently the assistant coach to former player Steve Cherundolo at Los Angeles FC. 6. Bradley Wright Phillips, 117 goals in 234 games. The son of Arsenal legend Ian Wright and younger brother to Man City icon Shaun Wright-Phillips, began his professional career with City in 2003. After 2 disappointing seasons in Manchester, Wright-Phillips left and joined then Championship side Southampton in 2006, where he enjoyed sufficient game time in 3 seasons from 2006 to 2009. The English striker would then sign for Plymouth Argyle after Southampton were relegated to League One, and after the Pilgrims suffered the same fate, he decided to join Charlton Athletic in the same division. Wright-Phillips would score 22 goals in 42 games to help Charlton win the League One trophy and earn promotion to the Championship, but after being released and joining Brentford on a half-season loan, he decided to move to the United States and sign for New York Red Bulls in July of 2013. Despite joining the club in the latter part of the season, Wright-Phillips was a key player in helping New York capture its first major title, the MLS Supporters Shield, playing 7 regular season games and scoring 1 goal. In his first full season in the MLS, the Englishman equaled the league's record for most goals in a single campaign, scoring 27 goals, a record that was first held by Roy Lassiter and before it was broken by Atlanta United's Josef Martinez in 2018. 92% of Wright-Phillips' MLS goals were scored while in New York, where he's the all-time top scorer, spending 6 years winning 3 Supporters' Shields and 2 MLS Golden Boots, including other club awards. The English striker later played for Los Angeles FC and Columbus Crew, where he won the Campeones Cup in 2021 before eventually retiring in March of this year. 5. Kai Kamara, 131 goals in 363 games and counting. Kamara was born and raised in Kenema, Sierra Leone, but at the age of 16, he moved with his family to the US, settling in Hawthorne, California, and eventually becoming an American citizen. His MLS career started with Columbus Crew after the club obtained his signature in the 2006 Super Draft. With the Crew, Kamara spent only 1 season, managing to score a measly 5 goals in 36 appearances. The forward has played in England with Norwich during a half-season loan spell in the 2012-13 season, and Middlesbrough for 1 full season in 2013-14. The only player on this list currently playing in the MLS with Canadian club CF Montreal, Kamara is also the only one to represent the most MLS clubs with a total of 9, on the way to becoming the first player to score for 8 different MLS clubs. Among his accolades, his 100-plus goals has seen the striker win the US Open Cup in 2012, together with being the MLS Cup Playoffs top scorer and MLS joint top scorer in 2015 when he scored 22 goals alongside Italian forward Sebastian Giovinco. In terms of trophies as well as individual awards, Kai Kamara stands out as the most successful African soccer player in the MLS. 4. Jaime Moreno, 133 goals in 363 games. The Bolivian international started his career in his home country with Club Blooming from 1991 to 1994 before joining Independiente Santa Fe on a short stint. In the same year, in 1994, Moreno signed with Middlesbrough, and the following season he became the first Bolivian to play in the Premier League. The striker spent 2 years with Barra without enjoying sufficient game time, with his appearances mostly coming off the bench. In the middle of the inaugural Major League Soccer season in 1996, Moreno was signed by DC United, helping them win the very first MLS Cup and remarkably retaining it the following year in 1997. Playing for two MLS clubs during his career, namely the Metro Stars and DC United, it was at DC where he scored most of his goals, achieving individual and team success. A four-time MLS Cup winner, Moreno had one of the most successful reigns the league has ever seen. His DC United squad dominated in the early stages of the league, and he was an instrumental part of all the triumphs in the nation's capital, including 4 Supporters' Shields, 2 US Open Cups, and a CONCACAF Champions Cup. By the time he retired in 2010, the former striker was the all-time leading scorer in MLS and also one of only 2 players in the league's history to score 100 goals, as well as providing 100 assists alongside fellow top goal scorer and American soccer legend Landon Donovan. In 2018, Moreno was inducted into the DC Sports Hall of Fame, adding to his already incredible list of accolades. 3. Jeff Cunningham, 134 goals in 365 games. The Jamaican-born American was signed by Columbus Crew in 1998 and in 1999 would become their first-choice forward, scoring 62 goals in 182 appearances. While Cunningham wasn't ever a part of a title-winning MLS club, he is a 2-time Golden Boot winner and 3-time MLS Best 11 selection. He also won the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup in 2002 and the MLS Supporters' Shield in 2004 during his 6-year stint in Columbus. Cunningham's 134 goals came for 5 different clubs across the country, including the aforementioned Crew, Colorado Rapids, Real Salt Lake, Toronto FC, and FC Dallas. The forward also played in the Guatemalan First Division with CSD Comunicaciones and Haiphong FC in the Vietnam League One after his MLS career. 2. Landon Donovan, 145 goals in 340 games. Widely recognized as the face of soccer in the United States during the early part of the 21st century, Donovan is arguably the most famous and one of the best American soccer players of all time. His professional career began with Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga, where he could only manage 7 appearances and was eventually loaned to San Jose Earthquakes in the MLS, helping the club win the MLS Cup in 2001 and 2003. Donovan signed a permanent deal with the LA Galaxy in 2005 and established himself as one of the most prolific goal scorers in the league, on the way to a record 6 MLS Cups, together with 4 CONCACAF Gold Cups and 2 Supporters' Shields. The former striker, who could also play on the wings, additionally holds the record for the most number of assists provided in the MLS, with 136. Loan spells in Europe with Bayern Munich and Everton in the Premier League between 2009 and 2012 were largely unsuccessful, but Donovan's legacy still remains intact. In 2015, the MLS MVP award was renamed the Landon Donovan MVP Award in his honor. After retiring in 2019, Donovan is currently the manager, co-founder, and vice president of soccer operations for USL Championship side San Diego Loyal, and also strategic advisor for English League One side Lincoln City. 1. Chris Wondolowski, 171 goals in 423 games. Wondolowski was first drafted to the MLS in 2005 by the San Jose Earthquakes after playing at college level with Chico Roots in his home state of California. The forward would go on to represent only 2 MLS clubs, San Jose and the Houston Dynamo, on the way to becoming the all-time record scorer in the American League. Nicknamed Wondo, he twice won the MLS Cup with Houston in 2006 and 2007 and is the only player to have scored 10 or more goals in 10 consecutive seasons. Wondo's breakout season was in 2010 when he emerged as MLS top scorer for the 2010 regular season, bagging 18 goals to capture his first MLS Golden Boot. The following year in 2011, the striker continued with his impressive form from the last campaign, finishing the season on a high note with 16 goals. In 2012, he returned to the summit and was awarded the Golden Boot for the second time in 3 years after scoring a record 27 goals. Wondolowski's 4 goals for San Jose against Chicago Fire in 2019 broke Landon Donovan's record and cemented his status as a true MLS legend. The 38-year-old announced his retirement from Major League Soccer following the Quakes' regular season finale in November 2021.